Hello everyone, and welcome back to the AZ-900 Azure Fundamentals Masterclass. So far, we spent time planning our Azure environment. We've looked at pricing, estimated deployment cost, and even compared Azure with an on-premises data center. But here's something every growing organization eventually discovers. As more people start managing Azure, things can quickly become inconsistent. One administrator creates resources in the UK South region and another creates them in East US. Someone forgets to add cost center tags. Another person creates an expensive virtual machine that wasn't even approved. Now imagine this happening across hundreds of administrators and thousands of Azure resources. That's where Azure Policy comes in to rescue. Azure Policy allows an organization to define rules that everyone must follow when working in Azure. Rather than relying on people to remember company standards, Azure automatically, or I dare say automagically, checks whether those standards are being followed. I'm going to share my screen and I'll walk you through the portal and try to explain it to your understanding. Remember, you've got to understand first, practice second, and conveniently masterboard. Let's begin. Let's open a new tab and head over to portal.azure.com. And what you need to do is to sign in. I'm going to search for policy. Click on it to open. So this is our Azure Policy service. And before we start exploring the menus, let's understand what Azure Policy actually does. And I will need you to think of Azure Policy as the organization's rulebook. Every company has policies. And an example is where a company may decide that all laptops must have antivirus installed. So as an employee, you don't get to decide whether you want the antivirus or not. The organization creates a policy and everyone follows it. Azure Policy does exactly the same thing, except instead of controlling laptops, it controls Azure resources. So this we see on my screen is the overview, the policy overview, and we say that this is our dashboard, and I'll need you to think of it as the home page for Azure Policy. And it gives administrators a quick picture of what's happening across the environment. Now, to the left of my screen, you can see compliance, right? And compliance, in its simple terms, means that are we really following the rules or not? So if a resource follows the policy, we see that it's compliant, just as employees are required to have antivirus installed on their laptop. So if an employee installs an antivirus, then that particular employee is compliant. If it breaks the policy, then it's non-compliant. So you can think of compliance like a school inspection. So if the school follows all the rules, it passes. If it breaks the rules, improvements are needed. And this is our overall compliance, and it tells us the percentage of resources that currently follow our policies. And if you look at the overall compliance, then we have the red chart. So in my current environment, we can see that we've got 3 resources that are currently non-compliant. And I need to caution you, this doesn't necessarily mean something is broken. It simply means that resources don't meet one or more policy requirements. So these are the non-compliant board policies. So if I come all the way down here and click on it, you will get an extended view of all the policies that are not compliant. So when you scroll down, non-compliant, enable threat detection capabilities, detection and analysis, prioritize incident, enable threat detection. So all of these are non-compliant, and I do have those that are compliant. Okay. Now, I'll go back one step. Then we will look at remediation. And remediation, we say, is another important concept. And when we say remediation, we are simply looking at fixing a problem. And suppose Azure Policy discovers that a storage account is missing a required tag. Rather than asking the administrator to fix every resource manually, remediation can help apply the required changes automatically. So think of remediation as Azure helping us correct resources that don't meet our standards. And I'll go down the list, then we will look at events. An event, we say, record important policy activities. So whether Azure evaluate resources against policies, those activities are logged here. And administrators can review these events to understand what happened and when. So more or less like, a monitoring station. Then we have offering, which is here, and we've got, other options underneath the authoring. Okay. And we say that this section contains the tools we use to build and manage Azure policies. So we look at the first one, which is definition. And definitions in simple terms talks about the rule itself. And I'll need you to think of it like writing a school rule. So an example could be student must wear a school uniform, and that's the rule. So in Azure, a definition might say resources may only be deployed in UK South, or every storage account must be encrypted. And Microsoft already provides hundreds of built-in policy definitions. So in most cases, we don't have to create them ourselves. So just take your time, go through it, understand it, explore, and that's the only way you're going to learn, okay? And now let's look at assignment. So yes, you finished creating the rule. But creating the rule or defining it is not enough. So we need to decide where that rule applies. And that's exactly what an assignment does. So think about a speed limit. A speed limit of 30 miles per hour doesn't apply everywhere. It only applies on certain routes. Assignments work the same way. They tell Azure where a policy should be enforced. I believe you're getting the drift. Just taking our time, fundamentals, just to help you understand. Okay? So now let's search for allowed locations. And that's one of our policy definitions. I'll hit on that. Then we can go through to click on sign policy. So the first thing here is the basics tab, and we've got our scope. Okay. And scope simply answers one question. Where should this policy in question apply? For example, we could apply it to the entire subscription, or we could simply apply it to a resource group. So if I hit on the three buttons, I can just decide, okay, I want to apply it to networking, FITTS networking lab, or network watcher resource group. So we just leave it at our Azure subscription. Then we have another option, which is exclusions. And we may have certain exceptions, and perhaps one department needs to create resources in another region. So instead of disabling the policy completely, we can exclude these specific resources for that particular department. So I need you to think of exclusions as giving special permissions to certain users or departments. Then we move on to the policy definition, which is essentially the name we give to the policy, but this is an inbuilt one. So it should be something very simple for you to understand. So the rule simply says resources may only be created in approved Azure regions. So we can even change that and type this in there. Change the allowed location and type, but I just want us to keep that. And the version also tells us about which version of the policy we are using. And Microsoft occasionally improves built-in policies. So version numbers help us identify exactly which rule has been assigned. Then we have assignment name, and that is simply the name administrators will see later. Okay, so using clear names makes policy easier to manage. Then the final bit here is what description, which helps explain why the policy exists. So this becomes very useful in large organizations where many administrators manage Azure. Okay, then we look at policy enforcement, which is this button over here, right? So this switch will definitely determine whether Azure should actively enforce the rule. And when enforcement is enabled, Azure immediately evaluates resources against this particular policy. And if it's turned off like this, administrators can test the policy without enforcing it. Okay, now let's move on to the next tab, which is what? Parameters. Okay, and the parameters allows us to customize a policy. So for the allowed locations policy, this is where we choose which Azure regions are permitted. An example could be me allowing only, let's say, UK South. So I can go all the way down, look for Europe. Okay, UK South, UK West. So that's what I want to do. And probably West Europe. So any attempts to deploy resources outside these selected locations would violate the policy. So I want us to move on to managed identity. Okay, so you also notice a section called manage identity, and some Azure policies need permissions to make changes automatically. So rather than using a username and a password, Azure can use a managed identity. And I will need you to think of it as Azure creating a secure identity for itself so it can perform authorized tasks. And now we've got non-compliant message. So if it's compliant, you can, put a message there. Okay. So I want us to go back to where we started. So when I come to overview, there's our non-compliant dashboard, which tells administrators whether their Azure environment is following organizational standards. And as we know, green means resources are compliant. So we are 183 compliant and 40 non-compliant. And you know what that red means. And this allows administrators to identify issues quickly without manually checking every resource. So that will be that for our policies. So I want us to look at the Azure surveys and some simple questions the answer. Okay, so we've got Microsoft Entra ID answers the question who the person is, and Azure RBAC, what are you allowed to do, and Azure Policy, what rules must every resource follow, and resource logs, how do we stop incidental deletion or modification. And you need to understand these services for your AZ-900 exam and as an administrator. So we've come to the end of this particular video. And today we've learned how Azure Policy helps organizations enforce standards across their Azure environment. We also explored policy definitions, assignment, compliance, remediation, and policy enforcement. And we saw how Azure automatically evaluates resources against organizational rules. In the next lesson, we will continue building our governance knowledge by exploring resource logs and tags, where you will learn how to protect critical Azure resources from accidental deletion and organize them more effectively. Catch you in the next lesson. Bye bye for now.